Hi guys, I hope you are doing well. I am doing amazing. Today the weather was very nice. Well, it's the 22nd of January. That's when I'm recording and I'm feeling very good. I'm so excited to finally talk about Urbana 25, my experience in Urbana 25. Urbana is a mission conference and it's a very, very good time. Highly recommend if you are young and you're maybe just thinking on where is God calling me to be, what is God calling me to do, what is God doing, any question that you might have about God's mission and how you can engage and how you can participate. Urbana is it's one of the best places you can be. So watch out for Urbana 28. That's the next one because it happens every 3 years. Anyway, so it was a very good time. We had so many speakers, very great speakers, very inspiring people talking to young 7,000 young students and just telling them about what they are doing, the things that they are seeing, the changes that they are seeing, and how they have been how they had been in our shoes, that how they were also young and today they see these changes happening and their hopes on what they can see continuing to happen. There were also a lot of seminars led by other amazing people. I personally attended one seminar that was led by an American couple. They're all surgeons and they work in Burundi, which is where I'm from. I was so inspired, very, very inspired. I was like, wow, this is so good. This is God. Like, He's so good. God is so good. Amen. Anyways, going into the conference, I had my own questions. I'm at that age where you have to figure out what you're supposed to do as a career, and it's just like, God, I don't know if I'm doing the right thing. I don't know if I'm in the right place, and I don't even know what the right place is at this point. So I had these questions like, God, you need to tell me exactly where I'm going after I graduate. You need to tell me, because there's so many things that I can do, and I'm just so confused. I don't know what to do and what to not do, and I don't want to do something that I'm not supposed to do. Anyway, so I had my own crisis, and those are my questions. I don't know. Like, again, at this age, the thing that your mother is gonna ask you the most is like, so what did you do after graduation? Is there somebody? So I was like, God, am I gonna stay single forever? Those type of questions. And going into Urbana, I was like, okay, I hope I get clarity on these things. But then the book of focus was Jonas. The book of Jonas we read through all the four chapters, and reading through these chapters, I was like, I don't know. Like, well, if you're not familiar with the story, it's a story about a prophet that God calls to go to Nineveh and preach to them and tell them to turn away from their evil ways and pursue God. And these people actually like turn away from their sins. But before that, the prophet that was sent, who is Jonas, he didn't want to go there because he had maybe some personal issues with the people of Nineveh. They were oppressors of Jonah's people. So he didn't want to go there and he tried to run away from God. But God made sure that he actually like went to Nineveh and tell the people about God and what God wants to do in the place if they don't change. So he ended up going, but still he was so mad. He was like, I'd rather die. I just want to die. Like, let me die. I don't want to do this. For me, reading this, I was like, okay, God, what? Where am I? What am I running away from? There's nothing. There's nothing. But then it's like, what do people say? Like, if you think there is nothing, then there is definitely a bigger thing. So I'm like, okay, there has to be something. I started thinking about the people that I should be reaching out to, and I'm like, okay, I have a couple friends who are maybe not, who don't know God, and maybe I should be doing this. And I was like, okay, this is me, this is my calling to start reaching out to people and tell them about God, whatever. And then I was like, okay, maybe there are other people that it's so personal that I don't feel like praying for. Some people have just hurt you and you just try to forget so much. You're like, I've moved on, but can you actually pray for them? Can you actually wish them the best? And I was like, okay, maybe this is also another issue. That's the Jonas in me. I'm trying to not like pray for them. I'm trying to not um, talk to them, tell them about the good news, because what if they move on okay? Like they never did anything to hurt me. I mean, I don't know. It's like, I don't know. Sometimes the human in us is like they don't deserve mercy, but who does? Who does? I also don't. I should be dead right now. I should be dead. if it's about what you deserve and what you don't deserve. And I saw that was like, okay, this is a thing. Okay, maybe I start like praying for the people that I don't really like yet. Start praying for them and the people that I don't even want to think about because the remembrance of them just causes me so much pain. Maybe I start praying for them. I was like, sure, let's do it. But then uh, after a certain time, I just went to my room, then chilling, and then I was like, maybe I'm actually running away from God. But for me, it looked very different. So going into Urbana, it was overwhelming. It was actually overwhelming because I was the only student that was coming from my school, and I didn't know anyone at Urbana. I knew my staff member, but I didn't know any other person. So there was really no one to stay around. And being in that space for the first time, I just was reminded, I had flashbacks from my freshman year, my first semester at Harvard, first year in the US. It was not a good experience. It was not a good experience. I never even knew depression existed, but at that time, I think I was depressed or something. I had a not very good time. And I mean, I think it was being the only person from my country and this place that is so big, everyone knows everyone. Like, where am I and how do I even find my people? And being in that space, Urbana made me remember that feeling. And I was like, oh yeah, that was so bad. Because coming into my freshman year, I used to be very talkative. Like, this seriously, I would go talk to strangers. But over time, I realized that I didn't want to do it anymore. And that was from a place not unlike I'm maturing now. I don't talk to strangers now. It was from a place of like, I don't feel like I'm being acknowledged enough. I don't feel like this has served me anything. I feel like it's caused me so much hurt than any good, and I just don't want to do it anymore. I don't want to be me anymore. So I've given up on that part of myself. So going into Urbana, I found myself in the same situation. It was very bad because I actually didn't even talk to my roommates. I went into the room. I was like, "Oh hi, I'm Faith." Well, we were staying in a hotel and we had to share rooms and stuff because it's very affordable. Anyways, so I said hi to them. They were all coming for the conference, and I just said hi to them, went to sleep. I was only in my room, wake up, sleep, and I never even tried to engage in a conversation, ask them how their days were going, nothing. And just realizing that he made me like, I felt an ache in my heart. I was like, why did I do that? Why did I, like, I've become so different? And then I just realized that it was a result of this person that I've tried to build, or these parts of myself that I tried to hide because of the past experiences of heart and whatever I didn't want to see happen. Because I was like, I can't be too excited to talk to them. I can't try and be so personal with them because what if we end up not becoming friends? And then I have this expectation of like, oh, we're gonna be close, we're gonna be besties, whatever. And I'm gonna go home with new friends. It's gonna be so fun. I'm gonna go visit them. Like, that's the type of person that I am. I'm so excited to meet people. But over time, he had changed, and I had tried to just, you know, put a blind eye on that part of me and be like, it doesn't matter. I'll just be so nonchalant. It's that wasn't the only case. I actually remember Thanksgiving, Thanksgiving of 2025. I made a decision. I was like, I'm never gonna text anyone. I'm not going to text anyone. Wish them a good Thanksgiving. Tell them that they're the best thing that's happened in my life. And I knew they were some of the best things that's happened in my life, or some of the best people that I've met, some of the connections that I really cherish, but I couldn't tell them. And guess why? It was because the previous Thanksgiving, as you can guess, I texted a lot of people, and one person that I actually loved. I loved that person. They're like the highlight of my whole year, and I couldn't wait for Thanksgiving. I actually scheduled an email to send to them on Thanksgiving because I was just, it was just, oh, I want to tell them. I want to tell them, like, I really love them. And yeah, it went, yeah, it stayed in the air. I don't know if they ever received the message or not, but I'm very sure that they did. But I hadn't noticed that something was going wrong between us. And don't get me wrong, on the us, it doesn't mean we're boyfriend and girlfriend. It was just someone out there that I really loved, and we were very good friends at that time. I mean, obviously now we don't even talk anymore, but it was just hurtful. And I was just like, okay, because of that experience and many other experiences that you've had, like people not returning the love that you think you are showing, or people not showing up for you the way that you show up for them, and just results of living in a broken world, I just started to be less of who God's made me to be, and just, you know, I guess it's that's what happens with evolution. You see what didn't work and you're like, okay, I'm trying not to have this. You see what didn't work, but this wasn't evolution. I was actually losing myself and things that really made me. And how can I even say this is my yes, God, send me wherever you want me to be, when I can't even say, God, thank you for fearfully and wonderfully making me, and thank you that these are the personalities that you saw that fit me, and how can I use them in this world that is so broken? And I was just there. I was like, oh gosh, maybe I didn't run away from God. Well, maybe I did in a way, but I ran away from myself. I ran away from the person that God's created me to be. And okay, I don't know where I was when speaking. My speaker went off and it just paused my recording. But what I'm saying is that I was running from who God created me to be, and I just tried to be someone else. I tried to be nonchalant. It doesn't suit me, not at all. It doesn't. That's just not me. Did you see me being nonchalant? I literally one day texted my friend cakes and candle. I was like, what the heck? That wasn't me. But you know what I'm trying to say is that maybe running away from God looks different for everyone. And for me, it was trying to wear a personality that is definitely not me. Trying to be someone who is definitely, I don't know who that was, but it definitely wasn't faith, because I know it when I go to sleep. I know that this is not who I am, and I don't like that it's happening this way. But it looks like the world wanted me to be that way. And you know, since when did I become what the world wanted me to become? Am I even serving the world? No. So get to embrace who God's created me to be, and know that the gifts that I have, the person that I am, is not a mistake. Like, seriously, it's not a mistake. And however you are fearfully and wonderfully made. And I just pray you can appreciate the uniqueness that you are, and see it as a way to just show this God that is so glorious, so loving, and he knows the universe and he knows what this very world needs, and he decides to create you in whatever you were born, whatever country you are in, however you think you look. Maybe you like it, maybe you don't, maybe you love it, and it's amazing. And I just hope you can fall in love with how God's created you to do. Only then can you fall in love with what God's called you to do, because who you are and what God's called you to do, they are two things you can't separate. What God's called you to do is only possible if it's you, not someone you're trying to be, but if it's you, that's when you can do it. And that's how you can do it with your whole heart, your whole mind, your whole self. That's how you can love God. And I'm so grateful that I went to Urbana, and it was definitely, you know, eye-opening, and I'm so glad. And I mean, it took time for me to get to where I am right now, and I'm sure it will take time and hopefully not too long for me to embrace who God's created me to be, and just be happy and carry it with pride, and strive to always be that, and never anything less, or never something else that this world wants me to be that doesn't match that. And I hope you also find the Jonah in you, and put your yes down and surrender to God, because he has good plans for you and your life. All right, bye, good night, see you, or good morning, whatever you are. See you on our next video. Hopefully there is one.